Good afternoon. Welcome back to this post-lunch session of this national seminar, Integration of Science and Spirituality, the Source of Infinite Possibilities. So, all of you are fresh, I feel. Now, we have to be very active to participate and enjoy this post-lunch session. Now we have amongst us Dr. Nagaraj Garu. I request Brother Dr. Nagaraj Garu to please come onto the dais. Brother is Director, Pramanik Yoga and Wellness. Please. Request sisters to welcome Dr. Nagaraj Garu with the plant and badge. So Dr. Nagaraj Garu, with experience of 14 years in the field of yoga, science and ergonomics, having MSc in yoga, he established yoga studio and research center at Hyderabad and running it successfully. He possesses sound knowledge about yoga movements such as asanas, alignment, yoga with props like wooden blocks, restorative yoga, integrated yoga therapy practices. Moreover, he is well versed with the relaxation and breathing methodologies and their principles. He believes that his extensive knowledge, proficiency, and broad experience in this system will help to cure and heal all the health problems. So his achievements: heads yoga certificate program for Indira Gandhi National Open University for Telangana region, National Yoga Champion for 2015 organized in Bangalore by S. Vaisya, received Young Social Entrepreneur Award for Yoga Services from NFED in Coimbatore for 2017. He is also columnist in regional newspaper like Namaste Telangana, Sakshi and many more. So we request Brother Dr. P. Nagaraj Garu to enlighten us on the topic behavior of spinal cord and its impact on breathing. Dr. Brother Nagaraj Garu.
Good noon to all the dignitaries of the dais. On the dais, no one is there apart of me. Andarki namaskaram andi. Thank you, Rajani sister, for introducing me on this great platform. And today I am here. So can you change the slide, please? The behavior of spinal cord and its impact on respiratory system. We are doing a lot of research on that. Before starting the session, there's a small prayer. Chalpati, can you give me the mat? Thank you. Everyone sit straight. So relax yourself. Make your mind quiet and calm. Sit straight. Before starting the prayer, the prerequisites are check the balancing of your body, both the sides, it's balancing evenly or not, and make your spine erect. Who can chant? They can chant with me. Who are not, at least give a psychological chant, or at least close your eyes and listen. I do 3 times Omkar Pranayama. Later, the Patanjali invocation prayer will be. Everyone sit straight once again. I request all of you, close your eyes very gently and softly. योगेन चित्तस्य पतेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरुत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. Bow down your head, surrender to center of your heart, offer your prayers to the noble sage Lord Patanjali and honorable gurus, your parents. Before starting the session, I would like to pray my divine parents and my teacher and the guru. Can you go to the next slide, please? This is a Patanjali prayer. Go to the next slide, please. Before starting my session, I would like to start with he is a renowned Guruji, Padma Vibhushan, B.K. Sayengar. We are the disciples of Guruji. I want to start very soonly with a quote given by Guruji. An intellectual mind that is unconnected to the heart is an uncultivated mind. The next one, health is not a commodity to be bargained for. It have to be earned through sweat. These days all the youngsters, rest of the every age group, without doing any of the physical or mental effort, they are expecting the health. Really it's a sin. Keep some effort, then expecting is a wise thing. So understanding the behavior of the spinal cord. Now the journey starts. Understanding the behavior of the spinal cord means what to, really I met 2-3 medical doctors before choosing this thing, this topic. What is mean by behavior of the spinal cord means? I want to give a preamble like understanding. Everyone is in an illusion that if you are not having a spinal cord pain, if you are not having any discomfort, we are in a healthy spinal cord people. No. See, the spinal cord in the yogic systems, flexibility, sustainability and sensitivity. The people who are bending forward, who are bending backward, it comes under the flexibility. Sustainability, which at the extent we are able to bend forward in the asana sthiti. Third one is in a sensitivity, we need to sensitize. Sparsha, I mean sparshincha gunam teliyali. How it will be annadi, I am going to show now. Everyone want to take an X-ray? I mean it. You may be in the confusion, what is mean by X-ray? There is no X-ray machine. Yes? How many want to take your own X-ray? Raise the hand. Very good. Thank you for the response. See, here is a spinal cord X-ray is there. Going to this slide. Can anyone observe and say what is this? How it is related to the topic? As the time is very short, if anyone want to say, interact or raise the hand, no problem, I will request the sisters. Yes, sir. Pardon? Can anyone help him? Does give the mic? Oh, yes, okay, sir. Any answer fast? Yes, sir. Pardon? It's not able to hear. Support him. Okay, I understand. See, one side is a fair chappal, one is a used chappal which is a scraped. See, it's indicator whose body is imbalancing. One side the chappals will be scraped out. It means that my body weight is in a 70 kgs. If I am standing regularly this way, this side my 60 to 80% of weight is coming this side. My body is getting more imbalance. When who is coming to my classes for example, spinal cord issues or rest of the other problems, I will, without knowing them, I will go and check their chappals and come. You can also check which side your body is getting imbalance, because right side brain and the left side brain is in a different activities. Right side brain always it thinks about the emotion, love, these all those things. Left is in a logical thinking. So which side you are, your body will behave like that according to the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So now by seeing this, I will give the instructions. Everyone, I request you to stand. Not now, I will say you the instruction. So before going to do that exercise, see biomechanics of the spinal cord I would like to explain. So any of the sister or someone, brother, give the mic if anyone want to. Can anyone give the answer of this? Anyone? The engineering students I am seeing from the MGIT. So many are there. Anyone raise the hand, brother will come to you. Okay? See this spinal cord. How I want to correlate. Can I have that Neelkamal chair please, brother? Brother, excuse me. Brother, can I have that Neelkamal chair? Chair. Any of the chair. Yes, yes. Thank you. See, most of the in the classrooms or in the offices, in the home, we used to, as I am an academician, I will see my students in the first period or in the department, my professor colleagues will come and sit with a nicely, they will comb and come. The second period, they will stoop like this. In the third period, they will go to one corner. And fourth period, they will go to one corner. In the home, we used to stoop like this and we used to watch the TV. Then very wrong postures. Am I right? So here, what's happening in the body means, this is in a water pipe I had taken. See, when the water is flowing, if it is stuck up with any unwanted material or yeast or fungus, something, flow will be there, but it will be drop. The flow won't be continuous. The same way, who are not sitting correctly, who are stooping like this, or your spinal cord is shrinking like this, what will be happen? The energy won't go from Mooladhara to Swadhisthana. The rest of the fluid mechanism won't go proper. Then who are inviting the problems? We ourselves inviting the problems and we blame others. Sthiram Sukham Asanam leads to Karmastu Kaushalam. Posture management is very important to get anything. Just here I will take an example of a Japanese. Japanese will sit 18 hours like this. After 1938 Hiroshima Nagasaki nuclear bomb, they sculpted themselves. They sit like this only. What is possible? Everything is possible. Here I am going to demonstrate and say how to sit in the chair. The long time. Hope it's visible. When we are sitting, access your gluteus muscle and sit like sharp your gluteus. This is called as a gluteus. Sharp and sit. You will sustain in the posture for a long time. You won't shrink. Chalmande, everyone used to say, sir, naku tinnadu aragatam ledu. I'm getting a brunching. I'm getting an acidity problem. You are locking here with your posture. How it will get digest? We all are in the impression that it's digested means we all are getting again hungry means it's not complete digested. That's the reason we will get a mood swing in the morning, afternoon and the evening. If the food is completely digested, the energy will be absorbed by your whole body. You will be very fresh and active. I request everyone, and it's not a request, it's an appeal, kindly mind your phone. So I am clear with this spinal cord, with this slide, I think so. See, smooth and hard surface of the spinal cord. I had taken a picture of the vena and spinal cord. The vena also is having a 32 vertebral step. 32 steps will be there. The spinal cord also is having a 32 vertebral columns. Chalpati, come here. I'm taking his accompanied me. He's also a teacher. stand here, face this side, face this side, this side. See this is cervical you are seeing, pointer is there, pointer is not there. So this is a cervical, this is a thoracic, this is the lumbar. See, this gentleman will stand over here and I will sit here. You see both the sides. Now from here I accessed and I said, there is no action from here, just I am sitting, I am placing my foot parallel to the ground and 90 degrees I am maintaining from the below the knee. So if I go like this, here shrinkage is coming, here the spinal cord is coming, our thoracic is getting a curvature, and what are the organs will be there here? Intestine, I am crookeding. It's getting shrink. So where the digestive juice will release? So any of the step in the vena, if we didn't play or apply properly, the rhythm of that instrument won't be proper. Any of the vertebral column of the spinal cord, we didn't understand its behavior and we didn't make it to play right role, rhythm will be miss in the spinal cord. If the voice is not melodious, we are able to listen that singer's voice, we will say how odd it is. The same spinal cord also. Spinal cord should be handled and we need to train the spinal cord behave properly. To add value to this slide, I would like to say, with all your permission, punish your body, it never punish you. If we pamper our body, it will punish us brutally. This is happening in this society now. We all are pampering our body. Coming to the next slide. Am I clear? I think so. Here time is very short. I am rushing. See, now this is the asana. Now the time came. I request now everyone stand up. I am going to back of the slide, X-ray, as I promised you. So, if the camera can work dually, focus, lengthen the foot vertically. Lengthen the foot vertically. Place it, first of all see how I am doing, later you can. If anyone wear the chappals, they can leave the chappals. Who is wearing the shoes, internally shoe also you can do. See, lengthen, we need to lengthen the feet vertically and place it horizontally, complete the floor and lift your knees up, patella region, roll your bumps in, lift your chest up, take your shoulders back, stretch your hands. See, and close your eyes. Close your eyes and observe your body. I request everyone, close your eyes and observe your body. Observe your body and mind. I request you once again, just a 30 seconds activity, observe your body and mind. Observe your body and mind. Apply the consciousness on the feet, apply the consciousness on the knees, apply the consciousness on the thighs, apply the consciousness on the bumps, apply consciousness on the lifted chest, on the shoulders and the hands. Now slowly release the feet, ankles, knees, thighs, chest, shoulders and hands. Slowly open the eyes. Now everyone take your seat. Now answer to my question. Which side body is leaning, right side, left side, or it is you are propelling or you are leaning back? Anyone can answer. Anyone? Which side the body is tilting? If you are propelling, you are leaning back, it's a one indication. If you are propelling forward, we are emotional. If you are leaning back, you are angry, our emotion is first, intellectual is back. If you are tilting right side, you are activating the left brain. If you are tilting left side, you are activating right. So, how to stand in the Tadasana? See, this is a posture. See, by saying one thing, I have to wind up. I got on a call from sister. How many legs we have? Can anyone answer? How many legs? Yes, sir. 2 legs. But according to the Guruji B.K. Iyengar, we need to stand on the 8 legs. Frontal leg, turn back, turn back. Back of the leg, turn side. Outer leg and inner leg. On 8 legs we need to stand. Who is standing on the whole legs and opening the eyes of the knees? They never get any backbone problem and they can think stably. The next one, see, even our eyes is having, our knees is having the eyes. We all are not standing properly by opening the knees. How to open the knees? Because the time is short, I come, but it is less time. See, we need to stand by placing the block in between. We got the block. If you can, you can. We need to stand like this. And everyone think that we are all having only 2 eyes. No, whole body is having the eyes. Who is taking care of the spinal cord properly? Their respiratory system will be proper, because this is called the intercostal muscles or the latissimus muscles. The rest of the all muscles, dorsal muscles, will connect it to the spinal cord. Stand fast. Stand fast. See, who are not able to stand for 1 minute or 2 minutes, place this wooden block or anything in between your thighs and stand. You will understand your spinal cord properly. So spinal cord and circulatory system and respiratory system are interlinked. And this is an integrated practices of asana and pranayama. Actually, we come with a bolster as the time is very short. Without doing any voluntary breathing also, we can do the pranayama by keeping any props. The props, we use a lot props like these wooden blocks, the stick, or some of the benches and bolster, which was invented by B.K. Iyengar. So far, I am going to stop over here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to the Brahm Kumaris and the rest of the other dignitaries. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, Brother Nagaraj Garu. We have very less time because we have more speakers to come and share their views on different topics. So thanks a lot, and we got enlightened to how to keep our spine healthy and complete physical body healthy. So nice tips we have got. Thanks.
Thank you very much to the, especially to the sister Sumalata madam, because we met only once and she given me the opportunity. Thank you very much. I will be here. If anyone, you can come and meet me personally. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Guruji blesses. I took 5 minutes, sorry.
Now we have plenary session 2. So I invite the speakers of this plenary session onto the dais. I request Brother Dr. Ramajayam Garu, Assistant Professor, IKS, IIT Mandi, Himachal Pradesh. Please take the seat on the dais. Also, I invite Brother Dr. Kanishka Sharma. Dr. Kanishka Sharma ji, please come on to the dais and take the place. And we have a nice plenary session now to know about the science of meditation. So meditation helps us to improve physical as well as psychological, mental, emotional wellness. So how it helps to overcome all sorts of sick illness, that we'll be able to understand in this session. I request Brahma Kumari sisters to welcome our speakers, guests with the plant and badge. So, Dr. Ramajayam brother, we clap by welcome our guests now in this plenary session. So Dr. Ramjayam Ji is a medical graduate from the prestigious Madras Medical College, Chennai, with a deep interest in integrating meditation and medicine. He embarked on a unique journey to master psychiatry, neuroscience, and contemplative science after his graduation. Holding a doctorate in psychiatry and yoga, he possesses a rare expertise in seamlessly integrating modern medicine, particularly psychiatry, with the ancient science of yoga. Currently, he is neuroscientist at the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Mandi, Himachal Pradesh. Dr. Ramjayam has been a regular practitioner of Raj Yoga for past 20 years and is actively involved in managing research projects under the SpARC wing of the Brahma Kumaris. His passion lies in combining the best of Eastern and Western approaches to medicine, especially psychiatry and contemplative practices. Now I request Brother Dr. Ramjayam Ji to enlighten us on the topic, the science of meditation.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Good afternoon. Hope all of you are alert. Sabhi alert hai? Can you just get up for a while? Thank you. You can sit down. So that if somebody was sleeping, maybe they can get up. So I'll be just covering some scientific aspects related to meditation. How many of you here are from medical side? Can you just raise your hands, medical or paramedical? 1, 2. Okay, it's only 2, I think. Fine. So I'll keep it very simple. Each and every slide, or most of the slides, will have some reference at the bottom. If you want more details, you can refer to those scientific articles. But otherwise, the image, what I'm going to represent in each and every slide, that is just representative. But the details, the message for each and every slide which I'll be giving, you can get those things in the respective references. So I made all my slides so that anybody can understand this, irrespective of whether they are from scientific side or non-scientific side or from art side. So let me just begin with this term meditation. First of all, I would not use the term meditation for various reasons, but still I'm using this term meditation instead of using the term yoga, because the word yoga is very unique and that conveys a lot of meaning compared to meditation. The moment when we say meditation, the whole concept narrows down to one simple aspect of just healing. Whereas yoga is not just only about doing something in the context of treatment or therapy or healing. It's much more than that. To be at peace or to be at joy, whatever the things you want to call. But still I prefer to use the term meditation because I don't want to confuse you with meditation, yoga, all these things. So let me use the term meditation. So before I get into this topic, I just want to know what is meditation from you all. Anybody wants to just share what is meditation? It's a simple question and at the same time very complex question also. From this side, I see a lot of students here. What is meditation? Yes, you can get up and tell. Somebody is talking there. Don't worry if you don't know, because we also don't know. If you ask hardcore scientists, nobody knows what is meditation. The reason being, they want to give very secular kind of definition for meditation, which nobody can find out. So I'm just putting in front of you a simple definition: meditation as a kind of inner journey. Okay. So I will explain everything based on this concept of inner journey. There are lots of definitions for meditation in scientific literature also, but again the problem itself is lots of definition, which is right, which is wrong. Everything might be right in different perspectives. Okay, so let's stick on to this simple definition of inner journey. So when I say inner journey, what is the outer thing where from you are traveling to the inner side? So the outer thing is what I have shown here. I don't know whether it is, yeah, I don't see the laser here. So I've shown the globe, the physical world, and then the physical body is there. Then mind is there, intellect is there, memory is there. So these are all the different things which I'm referring to outer. So from this sense of outer existence, we need to move towards something which is deep down there inside. Okay. What is there deep down? I'm not discussing much about that. You can call whatever the name you want, whether it is soul, atma, psyche, or any other name you want to give. Okay. But all of us feel a need for moving from the outer existential living towards the inner core existence. So this is what we usually call as meditation. So when we say meditation, we need to cross the barriers, or we need to manage multiple things. Things that are happening around in the name of the world, things that are happening in this physical body, 100 different kinds of thoughts that keeps on running your mind from morning till night, and then the different kinds of decisions, reasonings, your logical mind, all these kinds of stuff. And in between, your memories, the old habits, they also keep coming, and they also become obstacles at some point. Okay. So crossing all these things, finally reaching to that core aspect, this is what I'm referring to as inner journey. So as I've explained in the previous slide, it becomes very self-evident that when we say meditation, it involves multiple aspects, and all these aspects, multiple aspects, they are all in one way or the other connected with either the body, breath, mind, intellect, memories. Say for example, if I'm just sitting and then trying to be silent here, I'm not going to do anything. But literally speaking, after some time, I'll feel some kind of discomfort in my body. So I need to manage that. If I want to still sit silent, doing nothing. Okay. And to some extent, my breathing pattern also might change. And accordingly, if I manipulate my breathing pattern, either I can experience some sense of calmness, or I can become more anxious also. And while I'm sitting, practicing to just remain in that silence, all of a sudden something will come. Today the sweet which they have given in the lunch night was so tasty. All of a sudden you slipped somewhere else. Okay. So like this, 100 different things, it keeps on happening either at the level of the body or the breath or the mind, the intellect, or even your memories. So managing all these things, it doesn't happen step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. It just happens simultaneously, even though you are supposed to stick on to any one important practice. Say for example, just listening to some guided commentary, or just focusing on some object, or just listening to a piece of music, or focusing on a particular positive thought. Even though you might be doing only one thing in the name of meditation, but simultaneously you may have to manage all these things. Your body, your breath, mind, intellect, memories, all these stuff. So putting all these things together, in science today people have classified whatever the meditation you do into two broad categories. One is a focused attention type, another thing is open monitoring. Even though focused attention has the term attention, but open monitoring is also a kind of attention based practice only. Even though the name is different, but the kind of attention that we have in these two things are different. I think the image that I've given is self-evident, it is self-explanatory. So in focused attention, you just focus on one single object or one single concept or one single thought. Okay. If something else comes in your mind, you just come back to that same thought again the moment when you become aware. Whereas the other type, the right side image, what you see, there are lots of different things. You are not specific about any particular object, a particular thought or particular concept. You are just allowing all the things just to happen. You don't have any preference towards any particular object that is there in your mind or in front of you. Okay. You just let things to happen. This is also a kind of meditation. Again, as I've explained earlier, managing body, breath, mind, everything, it happens simultaneously. In the same way, for knowledge's sake, even though we divide meditation broadly as focused attention and then open monitoring, but in any kind of meditation practice, however the way you classify, it includes both. It happens simultaneously. Say for example, if I'm just focusing on a flame, I'm putting my entire concentration on that flame, all of a sudden something else comes. You need to just remain neutral to the remaining thoughts also in order to bring your focus to that. So partially you are doing open monitoring also means just you are witnessing things which are without getting carried away by other different stuffs, and then you are coming back to your object of focus also. So in this sense, practically it is very difficult. It's not like a watertight compartment, focused attention and open monitoring. It happens simultaneously. So that's a bit about meditation. So whenever we talk about meditation, meditation is something very tightly connected to health, even though meditation is not all about health, as I said at the outset. So it's very important for us to understand stress and the related responses, to conceptually understand what is meditation and how it creates different kinds of impacts on the mind, body, and other stuffs. So this is the simplest representation of how do we manage stress as a human being, what happens. So whenever any change happens in the environment where there is more demand than the resources, so when such kind of change happens in the environment, say for example, all of a sudden a snake comes here, what I'm supposed to do? I need to just run away. And I have to take the decision very quickly, instantly. I can run, but instantly running very fast here, that requires more energy. That requires more energy means my heart rate needs to be more so that it can pump more blood. Why? Because I need more oxygen. Why more oxygen? Because from that you get finally the energy. Okay. So this is what I'm calling as demand more than resource. I have the resources, but the current demand, it is more than the resource what I have at this moment. So when such kind of situation happens, first thing is we just detect. And once we detect, it is a dangerous situation, it's a crisis, we just detect that. Once we detect, then we appraise what kind of response I need to give now. So what kind of response I need to give? I need to just run from here because I need to safeguard myself. So I have run and then I've reached that side, to the safer side now. Now once I reached a safe spot, my heart rate should come down, my respiratory rate should come down, so everything should come back to normalcy because there is no snake there, it was only here. So this coming back to our normal state, that is called as, this kind of process is called as homeostasis, we say. Okay. So if you do not come back to that normal state, then we always remain in that state of stress. Body keeps on functioning as if there is snake always in front of me, which is actually dangerous. If it stays for a longer time, then that leads to different kinds of health issues, be it mind related problems or bodily related problems. So either we recover or otherwise we just break down. Any one of these two things can happen. So this is how it happens, especially when the body is reacting as if the danger or the crisis is still there all the time. even though it is not at all present actually. It is just like I want to just speed up just because something has come in between on the road. I press the accelerator, but I'm trying to release the accelerator is not at all releasing. So this is exactly the same state what the body is doing now. So it is thinking as if there is always a crisis, there is always a danger. As a result of that, the entire bodily systems, all the bodily organs that are responsible for stress response, they keep on functioning, working as if there is a stress, you work more. This is what we call as chronic stress. So when such thing happens, finally that leads to illness. So this is a nutshell about what happens when we face a change in the environment where there is more demand compared to resources, which is what we call as stress. So just I am extending a little bit more how this response is very, very generic, where it affects the entire bodily systems. So what are all the things it does? It changes our, let's say for example, sleeping pattern. The entire sleep-wake cycle gets disturbed, and it also changes the eating habit. For example, people who are highly stressed, they prefer to take more of high energy foods. Say for example, chocolates, sugars, all these things, sweets, too much, where it is not actually a need for the body. So the eating habit changes, and then your sedentary lifestyle, sedentary behavior, that keeps on increasing. So all these kinds of behavioral risk happens the moment when you enter into something called as stress. So when you look into the heart and its related system, it promotes clogging of more and more of fat in the blood vessels, finally leading to the blockage, and then leading to heart attack, hypertension, multiple issues. Okay. And similarly, related to diabetes, today we see almost 1 in 5 have diabetes, and almost people call today as India is the capital for diabetes. We are moving very fast. And one of the important reasons for this is, we have 100 different reasons, but one of the most important reason is change in the behavior and change in the lifestyle. For this there are many different reasons, and all these are connected with stress. The way cell takes insulin and then glucose, and then how it digests, everything gets changed, and then finally that leads to diabetes. So your obesity, hypertension, insulin related functions, and hence glucose metabolism, and things related to immune response. We have two different kinds of chemicals. One is called as pro-inflammatory chemicals, and another one is called as anti-inflammatory chemicals. For example, if I get an injury in my hand, so I get a wound there. The wound has to heal. So for the wound to heal, we need to bring the white blood cells and all the other kinds of immune cells to that particular spot. Okay? And this response is called as inflammation, we say. This reaction is important, this inflammatory reaction is important for the wound healing to happen. But the problem is, if these inflammatory responses and the chemicals responsible for this, they keep continuously working, then even after healing, you get some other problems also because of enhanced or more than necessary inflammatory response. So we need some other chemicals called as anti-inflammatory chemicals or cytokines that brings down once the healing process gets over. So this balance between this pro-inflammatory and then anti-inflammatory. So this also gets deranged the moment when we get into stress. So you can see like this, the entire bodily system gets collapsed when somebody is staying in stress for a longer time. Okay. I have just given some of the organs like heart, all these things, but you can start from the head till the toes and tell for each and every part of the body how it gets affected by stress. Okay. So why it is important? Because exact opposite of that happens in relaxation response, which is one of the important response we get when we meditate. So that's the reason why we are focusing more on stress. So one important concept which is coming these days is about gut. Many times we say gut feeling. Okay. So this gut feeling is something related to our mind, related to our confidence. But why do we use the term gut with that feeling, the feeling of confidence? And in fact, in a way, it is true also. The truth in that is, stomach is actually called as a second brain. For example, if you are just very relaxed, and with that relaxation, if you just take anything, food, let us say, you get enough amount of acids for the digestion of the food to happen. But if you are stressed very much, you don't get enough amount of acid for digestion to happen, and then the food stays for a longer time, and then finally that leads to many other problems. So when you are getting into stress, what happens in the context of some of the microorganisms in the body is, some of the chemical changes that happen in the gut that breaches the covering in the gut. As a result of that, some of the bad microorganisms, it enter into the gut. That leads to destruction of or imbalance in the good microbiota. And this is now being linked to many of the mental health related issues, including depression, anxiety, all these things. If you look into Ayurveda, they say every problem begins from the digestive system. And in fact, that is true. This is what actually modern medicine is also exploring these days. The problem begins from the gut. So that's a bit about meditation and also stress and its related response in a very generic manner. Okay. So now I am going to give some of the findings from different kinds of studies related to meditation. So what are all the different effects meditation can create? Okay. So there is something called as a cognitive control, emotional control, and then control related to the survival functions. So when you take the brain, you can broadly divide that into three different kinds of brain, you can say. One is related to maintaining your heart rate, respiratory rate, some basic functions related to the body, which is there in all the other animals also. If these things stops, then the body also goes off, dies. Okay. So this is what I've shown as this small portion, the deeper aspect, that is the red color brain. Okay. The second aspect is the orange color brain. This we call it as the emotional part of the brain. So all the feelings that we have, for example, when you are getting into deep experiences of something, during these timings, your emotional brain is very active. But at the same time, if you want to change your attention from one experience to another experience, if you are completely into that emotional part of the brain, you cannot actually switch. For that, you need another portion of the brain, the topmost portion, the yellow colored one, which is actually the reasoning part of the brain. Unless that comes into role, you cannot switch from one experience to another experience, which is what we call as cognitive control. Okay. So this cognitive control, emotional control, and also the survival functioning related controls, all these things are managed in a better way with meditation. Okay. Means you can direct your thoughts in the right direction, you can manage your emotions in a better way, and you can keep your basic survival related bodily functions like your heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate, all these things in a harmonious working manner. So the next thing is about awareness, the internal awareness and then the external awareness. You need not get bothered by all these different technical figures and then terms. If you just listen to what I say, you can understand very easily. Okay. Say for example, when you are sitting and then listening here, you are just hearing what I'm saying, you are trying to reason out, you are trying to understand. Okay. Simultaneously, suppose if you are given a task which needs to be carried out, let us say at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, that also is always there at the background of your mind. Okay. In spite of sitting and then listening here, which is a kind of internal focus, you also have at the background, at this point of time, I need to go out, I need to do something, I need to do this task. Okay. So this kind of internal as well as external awareness, we maintain all the time for various reasons. Okay. At times we need to focus more deep down inside, At times we need to come out and then focus more on the external events. Both are equally important. If you're completely focused deep down inside, just ignoring the external things, you might become completely aloof. Or if you're completely focusing on only external task, starting from task A, B, C, D, just like that, achieving different steps, but not at all focusing inside, then you become completely extroverted and then highly tensed. So both are actually problematic. So you need to strike a balance between these two. So to switch between this internal and then external awareness, meditation helps a lot. So there is a switch also which is shown in the middle, which we call as salience network. So we have something default network, which is for focusing something inside, central executive network for focusing on task outside, and then there is something in between kind of switch which helps in shifting from one to the another. So meditation helps in better switching from one network to another network, or one awareness to another kind of awareness. Another important thing related to this default mode network, what I mentioned earlier, is so it is noted that if someone is not doing anything, even during that time, the brain is alert. And in fact, when it is not doing anything, brain is just utilizing almost 20% of the energy, which is actually too much. Person is not at all doing anything, but in spite of that, brain is utilizing energy unnecessarily. Okay, because you might be thinking 100 different things which are not at all important, which are not at all required. Okay. So this wastage also can be reduced if someone focuses on meditation, which means you can use your default working mode related networks in the right direction for positive self-processing related things. Apart from this, there are many other brain regions where structurally also people have found changes following meditation. So 3 such regions I mentioned here. One is insula, another thing is cingulate, and then hippocampus. So insula is actually shown on the left hand side brain, the blue and the yellow regions, and then hippocampus is shown on the right side brain, the yellow colored one. Okay. So there are many other brain regions where people have found changes after meditation intervention. But these are 3 important regions which comes very frequently in literature. So insula is one region which keeps a map of all the internal organs. Say for example, what the heart is doing now. We might not be aware externally, but still inside the brain, the map is being maintained. Once something goes wrong, then you become aware. So how do you become aware that unless somebody is maintaining some kind of mapping inside? So that is what is being done by this insula. So what is going on right now in your digestive system, that's being maintained, that's being mapped. So all the internal organ systems, whatever is happening, which we are not aware externally, all these are monitored by insula. So with meditation practice, this internal awareness related to different bodily organs, that becomes better because of the better functioning of insula, and also favorable changes in terms of structure of insula as well. Another thing is cingulate. In that also people have found structural changes. Cingulate is something that monitors conflicts. Many times we come across situations where should I do or should I not do? Should I do or should I not do? And we get struck with that. So this is one such region in the brain which helps in monitoring this conflict. Later on, some other parts of the brain, they come and then they take over to direct us to particular direction, decide and then do certain things. So the cingulate cortex, that also becomes better with meditation, both in terms of structure and function. And hippocampus, maybe most of you would have heard, that is a region which is related to memory. And this has been studied very widely in many of the psychiatric disorders also, where the volume, the size of the hippocampus was found to be more after meditation practice. So this is related to better connectivity between the left and right part of the brain, left and right hemisphere. There is something called as corpus callosum, which is like a bridge between left and right brain, which is what is actually shown on the right side image, the yellow colored one, like this, connecting both the things. Same thing is shown on the left side brain also, figure also. So this is a bridge which connects the left and right hemisphere, and this connection and this coordination between left and right brain is very important for many of the activities that we perform. Say for example, I'm holding this pointer here, I'm holding the mic here. So both my left and right brain has to work simultaneously. There has to be a coordination. If there is no coordination, if it is cut in the middle, this will function separately, this will function separately. I might be holding the mic without knowing that I am holding the mic. So what will happen? Even if I drop, I will not know that I have dropped it. So for such kind of coordination, this bridge is very, very important. So this corpus callosum, the size, the number of fibers has also been found to be increased following meditation practice. So that's about structural changes. These are some of the functional changes which you will also see. There are different kinds of brain waves. I'm not getting into the details. Again, this is a very vast area. I'm just giving a gist of this. So when someone practices meditation, what happens with the brain oscillations? We call this as oscillations. So the different kinds of waves I've shown here, like gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta, all these things. So high frequency waves are shown on the top and lower frequency waves are shown at the bottom. Delta waves we very commonly see in deep sleep. Very rarely we might get in deep meditation, but otherwise alpha and theta are the ones we very commonly see. Alpha is something related to blocking the external sensory information flow to the brain. For example, if I am talking to you in a focused manner, I should ignore the sound which is coming from the fan or the exhaust, something which is coming from that side. So all these things has to happen. So when we meditate, we do this intentionally more powerfully. So as a result of that, the sensory informational blockage, it happens more effectively, and that is reflected with increased alpha waves. Okay. Another thing is theta. So as you go deeper and deeper into meditation, you sometimes get into a state which is similar to drowsiness. You are not sleepy, but you are just like on the borderline. So this theta also comes in when somebody is entering into sleep. But there is a difference between theta that is found in meditation and then theta that comes in sleep, which is a different story altogether. But when somebody enters into deep meditation, there also we get theta. And people also found with some advanced meditators gamma waves, which is related to like coordinating multiple kinds of information seamlessly. Say for example, the brain region which is at the back, it might be doing something. Brain region at the front might be doing something, left, right might be doing something, and putting all these things together, you hear one word and then you sense it properly with contextual meaning. So for this to happen, this coordination happens from different regions of the brain, and this coordination at times happens through this gamma waves, which we call as binding. Okay. So all these things, alpha, theta and gamma waves, it gets enhanced when somebody practices meditation regularly. So this I have explained earlier also. Cytokines are chemicals that helps in communication between different cells. So especially these cytokines are important for inflammation related process, what I called as wound healing. When injury happens, inflammation has to happen through all the immune cells pooling there and then generating the response. And then once the healing has happened, opposite reaction has to happen. Anti-inflammatory work has to start. So this balance between pro-inflammatory and then anti-inflammatory cytokines, the amount and also their function, it becomes robust with meditation practices. So this is another interesting finding which some of the studies have found. So all of you would have heard at least the term called as a chromosome. Okay. So chromosome is the one which carries the genetic material, the DNA, all those things are present. So in the DNA, as you see, there are 4 limbs, 2 upper and then 2 lower limbs. In each of those limbs, you see something, sorry, like a small cap. Okay. The terminal portion which looks like cap is what is called as telomere. Okay. The length of that terminal cap determines your lifetime, how long you are going to live. Okay. So if the length of the cap gets smaller, your lifetime also gets shorter. So if we can delay the shortening of that cap in that chromosome limbs, all those 4 limbs, you can delay aging also. So some of the studies also have found delayed telomere shortening with meditation practice. So anti-aging and related practices, it's very common these days. So I would suggest you can include in your list meditation also if you are very much bothered about your looking youthful. At a cellular level or at a molecular level, in a very generic format, if I want to say, what happens is anything you do, whether you think, whether you feel, eat, or do something physically, finally everything narrows down to one simple thing called as incoming energy, processing it, generating some energy which the body cells can utilize, and then the waste products of that energy comes out. Again, the same cycle happens. And this is what happens 24/7 inside the cells. So this entire cellular process, all these metabolism that happens in the name of generating energy for the cell to survive, it happens in a more efficient way with meditation and related practices. So cellular metabolism, it gets down regulated so that it works slowly but more efficiently instead of working in a very hurried manner, in a stressful manner, creating a lot of toxic materials. Last one is related to epigenetic changes. Many times people talk about genes and related connections in the context of body. When it comes to genes, you cannot change the genetic makeup. That will remain the same. That is permanent as long as you remain in this body. But what can be done is how the genes get expressed, that can be modified. Say for example, now this kurta pajama is made with 5 meters of white cloth. The same 5 meters white cloth, I can make 2 full-hand shirts also. What I've done now is, the way it is expressed is changed, but the content is exactly the same. 5 meters, same color, same content, same material. But the way it looks now as kurta pajama is different. The way it would look if it is a 2 full-hand shirt, that is different. So this kind of change is what we call as epigenetic change. Means you don't alter the genes, but the way the genes gets expressed, that gets altered with meditation related practice. So how this alteration, this change happens, there are mainly 2 main mechanisms. One is called as a DNA methylation, another thing is histone modification, which I am not getting into the details. So this is the take home message in terms of different findings we have today in the name of science of meditation. One is, there is enhanced autonomic balance. Autonomic balance means, the first one what we have seen, the stress response. When there is a stress, you need to act very swiftly. That is also important, for which a particular kind of system called a sympathetic nervous system works very fastly. And once the crisis is over, you need to come back to your rest state also, for which another set of system called as parasympathetic nervous system, that comes into role. So there is a nice balance between these 2 things which gets enhanced, this balance, when somebody practices meditation. Another thing is this internal and then external awareness, and a harmony in switching between these 2 things, that also becomes better. And different regions in the brain, in terms of structure also, you find more integrity with meditation practice. We have also seen about emotional and then cognitive control, means you have better control over your thoughts and feelings or emotions as well. And different kinds of metabolisms and different kinds of process that are related with those metabolisms, leading to various issues if they get dysregulated, like diabetes, hypertension, heart attack. All these things can be managed in a better way. We also discussed about the cytokines, the chemicals that helps in communication between 2 different cells for wound healing and related stuffs. And then epigenetic changes also we have seen. So all these things, how does it happen? For example, I have told 100 different stuffs in bits and pieces, but there should be a kind of conceptual understanding that puts all these pieces together. So what is that? So which is what I have shown here. So as we have discussed at the beginning, it's all about the inner journey. So as you move more and more towards your inner core self, it's again the same body, it's again the same self, but the way you manage your body changes completely different. Say for example, I can hold this mic like this very tightly also. How long I can hold? Maybe for 2 minutes. After that, I cannot hold. But if I hold very gently, I can hold it for maybe hours together. The same thing is happening, but there is a huge difference between holding this tightly and then holding this gently. It's exactly the same thing that happens when someone practices meditation. You cannot escape from your bodily related work, functions, all these stuff. You have to be with that only. There is no other go. But how do you manage that? How do you own the bodily responses? How robust you can efficiently do all these kinds of functions? That changes completely. There comes a day and night difference when you practice meditation. So when you practice meditation, by anchoring yourself at the central being, which is actually you, automatically that positivity spills over to your energy body, and from that energy body, including your genetic makeup and all the other bodily systems, they get the proper message, and that is how your body actually gets the blueprint, how it has to be, with or without disease, with or without health. So this is what in nutshell happens when somebody does meditation. So in essence, you can regulate yourself better, means you can actually become the master for whatever the things that happen. So if you just become like a slave, everything is still happening, but you never know what will happen when. But if you become the master and do still the same thing, you're completely calm because you know what is going to happen when. So this is the only difference, but otherwise the same heart is going to do its same work, the pancreas is going to do the same work, everything is going to be the same, but it's just the question of how it is happening. That changes completely when somebody practices meditation. So you can regulate yourself in a much, much better way when you practice meditation. So that's all about different kinds of messages which I wanted to give, and all these things I've given you just only the images, but the message which is attached with each and every image is like many years of work which people have published as a scientific article. I've given the reference at the bottom of every slide. So these are the references. If somebody is interested, you can go through these things as well. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother, for detailed explanation about how meditation helps us to manage properly the inner state of mind and brain. Yeah, something.
Are we short of time? Can I take just 2 more minutes? Two more minutes, yeah. I think, can you show that? Yeah. Just a few words about SpARC and the different kinds of activities that is being carried out. So what I've shown in the previous presentation, all the slides, it includes some of our work also, but many of those things are from other researchers. But SpARC also does a lot of research work with these objectives. We explore scientifically different aspects of spiritual lifestyle, say for example, whether it is related to early morning meditation or something related to food or the other kinds of practices like listening to wisdom, different aspects, practicing virtues. So all the spiritual lifestyle also we explore scientifically, and we also try to understand different kinds of meditative states, what happens in the brain with advanced scientific tools, neuroscience related tools. We also develop certain tools which can be used for assessing how well somebody is practicing meditation. We are in the process of making such tools, assessment tools also, and we also do research related to applying these meditation in different kinds of disorders and how it can help for people with various disorders. So these are with these objectives, SpARC is Spiritual Application and Research Center. You may get to hear more about this maybe in the next session also, but this is in a nutshell about what is SpARC and what do we actually do. These are all the different organizations with which SpARC has collaborations. We have lots of, these are all the research findings related to SpARC which has happened in the past. We have lots of research work that has been published. All these are published work. Some of the ongoing research work, these are the things. Some service projects also happen. So we have something called as Mansa Seva project, where it's something like distance healing. So you can help somebody who is away just by sitting and doing meditation in your place. It looks very cool and then simple. You can also try. It happens at a national level. You can just join online. Shrikant Bhai actually coordinates that. We use that same technique as a scientific project also in one of the hospital in Hisar, Jindal Hospital. So these are all the different projects that is under SpARC. Thank you.
So now we have a practical gadget demo of how meditation helps us to really control our state of mind and overcome stress and get complete health, mental as well as physical health also. We have amongst us Brother Kanishk Sharma. Dr. Kanishk Sharma is a neuroscience graduate with a PhD in neurocognitive and psychophysiological analysis. In his research career, he learned experimental neurophysiology, neurocognitive assessment, and data analysis. He has experience working at premium research institutions of India, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Science, Delhi, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru and New Delhi. He has been instrumental in setting up psychophysiology lab at SpARC Wing Office, Gyan Sarovar, headquarters of Brahmakumaris at Rajasthan, and conducting multiple experiments to explore Raj Yoga meditation and Raj Yogi lifestyle. His research interest in the psychophysiological exploration of different meditation and contemplative practices and the utilization of non-invasive interventions to enhance cognitive abilities. I request Dr. Kanishk Sharma to proceed.
Thank you, Didi. Om Shanti. So, I'll start with few of the very basic facts about EEG. EEG is properly known as brain scanning. और ये ब्रेन स्कैनिंग क्या करता है, व्हाट आर द टूल्स डू वी यूज़, ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं वो उन सारी चीज़ों को लेते हुए कैसे हम मेडिटेशन को स्टडी करते हैं. नॉट इवन मेडिटेशन, देयर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स जो कि हम अपने ब्रेन के बारे में जान सकते हैं ईईजी को लेके, है ना. तो जैसे डॉक्टर रामजम हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट डिफरेंट ईईजी बैंडविड्थ, जो अभी आप इसमें देखें, ये लाइव आप देख रहे हैं. एक भाई जिनको हमने ये 64 चैनल कैप पहनाया है. 64 चैनल का मतलब 64 डिफरेंट लोकेशन से ये डेटा कैप्चर कर रहा है. डेटा क्या है? डेटा है माइन्यूट इलेक्ट्रिकल वेव्स. इलेक्ट्रिकल वेव्स का जो साइज़ है उसको अगर मैं आपको बताऊंगा तो थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. ये पूरे हॉल में, हमारे घर में, जहाँ पे भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी रहती है, वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का जो कह सकते हैं उसका जो वोल्टेज होता है वो यूजुअली भारत में, इंडिया में जो रहता है दैट इज़ 220 वोल्ट्स, राइट. 220 टू 240 वोल्ट्स तक का रेंज रहता है. जो डेटा आप यहाँ देख रहे हैं, ये भी जो इलेक्ट्रिकल एक्टिविटी हम रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, इसका जो पोटेंशियल है दैट इज़ इन माइक्रो वोल्ट्स. So it is 10 to the power minus 6 times smaller than what we are having at the household electrical supply. तो इतना माइन्यूट इलेक्ट्रिकल एक्टिविटी को रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए हमको एक एम्पलीफायर की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, जो कि एक बहुत सोफिस्टिकेटेड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इक्विपमेंट होता है. एंड व्हाट इट डज, अगर इफ़ एनी ऑफ यू आर फेमिलियर विद द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्टर, सो both the things are applied when this instrument is being formulated, assemble जब इसको किया जाता है. तो जो माइक्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है उसके पोटेंशियल्स को रिकॉर्ड करते समय हम ये ध्यान देते हैं कि जिस समय उसको रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं तो उस रिकॉर्डिंग के लिए प्रॉपर सिग्नल आए. क्योंकि आप देखते हैं जो 220 वोल्ट्स का करंट है और ये माइक्रो वोल्ट्स का करंट है, तो इतना छोटा करंट के आगे जब इतना करंट, इतना बड़ा करंट रहेगा तो छोटे करंट को वो सुपर इम्पोज करेगा. वो सुपर इम्पोज से बचने के लिए वी यूजुअली कीप ऑल द सिस्टम आइसोलेटेड फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रिकल नॉइस. वो इलेक्ट्रिकल नॉइस से आइसोलेट कैसे करेंगे? अभी आपने देखा कोई भी वायर कनेक्टेड नहीं है किसी पावर सप्लाई से, सो दैट्स हाउ वी ट्राई टू कीप इट अवे. अभी we'll try to see different waveforms जिनके बारे में डॉक्टर राम जयम ने आपको बताया. Let's try to see what are these. So I will instruct brother who is sitting over here, and he will follow the instruction, and you have to look at the screen how it is changing. So when you see this one bar is going, and this whole time, this is all 10 seconds का duration. This whole duration is 10 seconds from this place to this place. अब ये 10 सेकेंड के ड्यूरेशन में जब ये स्क्रॉलर रन करता है तो ये रियल टाइम में हमको इन्फॉर्मेशन दे रहा है कि ब्रेन में अभी किस किस तरह का ब्रेन वेव चल रहा है. अभी इसको कोशिश करते हैं देखने की थोड़ा. तो जो हम अल्फ़ा, बीटा, डेल्टा, थीटा, हम इनके बारे में बात करते हैं, तो ये क्या है, इनको कैसे पता लगाएंगे कि अल्फ़ा है कि थीटा है या बीटा है. तो ये फ्रीक्वेंसी का बैंड है. हर एक फ्रीक्वेंसी का एक अलग बैंड रहता है. जैसे अल्फ़ा का बैंड है 8 से 13 हर्ट्ज़, 8 to 13 हर्ट्ज़. सो हाउ डू यू नो दैट इट इज़ 8 to 13? You will calculate the peaks, number of peaks. Let's say, let me try it. अभी केवल हम एक चैनल पे देखने की कोशिश करते हैं. मान लीजिए ये ना, अभी इसमें देखेंगे एक वेव ऐसे जा रहा है, ऐसे जा रहा है, ऐसे जा रहा है, इस तरह से जो जा रहा है. सो दिस वेव, now how many number of peaks are there in this, which is 1 second. 1 second में जितने पीक होंगे, that is the frequency range, right? अभी देखते हैं कि frequency range क्या कुछ change होता है. तो अभी आप अगर देखेंगे तो मैं स्क्रीन को एक बार फ्रीज करता हूँ. अब फ्रीज करने पे अगर आप देखेंगे तो किसी भी एक सेकेंड में अगर नोटिस करेंगे तो लगभग 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, लगभग 12 से 14, 15 पीक्स के आसपास हैं. अभी ट्राई करते हैं कि क्या ये पीक्स चेंज होते हैं ना. तो मैं अभी ब्रदर को दोबारा से आइज़ क्लोज करने के लिए बोलता हूँ और फिर हम देखते हैं कि इसमें क्या चेंजेस होते हैं. ये सारे जो आप देख पा रहे हैं, ये सारे लोकेशंस हैं जहाँ से हम इस डेटा को कलेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं. वी आर कलेक्टिंग डेटा फ्रॉम ऑल दीज 64 लोकेशंस अक्रॉस द ब्रेन, अक्रॉस द हेड, राइट. नाउ विल सी what the data is talking about. We'll try to check data in some channels which are the part of this region, which is called occipital cortex. And occipital cortex में कैसे changes होते हैं उसको हम देखने की थोड़ा कोशिश करते हैं. तो okay, brother, can you open your eyes? अभी अपना आँख खोल लीजिए. हाँ, अभी आँख खोल के बैठिए. देखिए, अभी brother has opened his eyes. He is conscious, he is able to see the world around, and he is registering all the visual information which is going through his eyes to the occipital cortex. So during this moment, he is conscious and registering all the information, and the waveforms are like this. So it is a mixture of everything. Now let's see if we can change this into alpha wave. Let's try to do that. Okay, brother, can you close your eyes? प्लीज अपनी आंखें बंद कर लीजिए. तो अभी जो आप स्क्रीन पे देख पा रहे हैं, ये जो पूरा पैटर्न देख पा रहे हैं, जो साइनोसोडल वेव्स हैं, है ना, स्पिंडल्स जैसे दिख रहे हैं, जो बड़े बड़े वेव्स एक साथ दिख रहे हैं, ये इनको हम बोलते हैं अल्फ़ा वेव। अब देखते हैं, इसको वेरीफाई करते हैं कि क्या ये अल्फ़ा वेव है। तो वेरीफाई करने के लिए मैंने फ्रीज़ किया व्यू, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक 1 सेकंड का टाइम है। इसमें एक नंबर ऑफ़ पीक्स थोड़ा सा काउंट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। नंबर ऑफ़ पीक 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 और 10। अल्फ़ा का जो रेंज है वो है 8 to 13 हर्ट्स। तो ये 10 हर्ट्स का फ्रीक्वेंसी आप क्लियरली देख पा रहे हैं ना। ऐसे ही जब कोई दूसरे और मेंटल ऑपरेशंस या मेंटल टास्क हम करते हैं तो ये वेव्स जो हैं वो चेंज होती हैं। ऑल दीज वेव्स चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू द मेंटल ऑपरेशन वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग। सो लेट्स ट्राई टू हैव मोर हायर फ्रीक्वेंसीज। ब्रेन में देर आर मल्टीपल फ्रीक्वेंसीज, अल्फा इज अ लोअर फ्रीक्वेंसी। तो लोअर फ्रीक्वेंसी कब काम करता है? व्हेन यू आर रिलैक्स्ड, व्हेन यू आर assimilating the information, but you are not assimilating the information from your outer world। अभी बाहर से भीतर की तरफ जाने की कोशिश करते हैं, है ना। ओके ब्रदर, कैन यू ओपन योर आइज? आंखें खोल लीजिए। हाँ, देखिए जैसे ही भाई ने आंखें खोले तो वो अल्फा जो है वो डिसअपियर हो गया, पूरा एकदम से डिसअपियर हो गया। कैन यू सी एवरीवन? एवरीवन कैन सी इट? सब लोग देख सकते हैं? ओके, ठीक है। अब हम कोशिश करते हैं कि मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशंस करते समय क्या किस तरह से चेंजेस होते हैं, ठीक है। तो मैं ब्रदर को बोलूँगा दैट अ सिंपल सब्सट्रैक्शन टास्क ही हैज़ टू परफॉर्म। ही हैज़ टू सब्सट्रैक्ट अ 6 डिजिट ऑफ फ्रॉम 5000। सो एंड देन हैव टू रिपीट दिस। 5000 में से 6 माइनस करना है और इसको रिपीट करना है तब तक कि 0 ना पहुंच जाए, ठीक है। ओके ब्रदर, यू कैन स्टार्ट द काउंटिंग। 5000 से 6 रिपीट कर 6 सब्सट्रैक्ट करते हुए इस प्रोसेस को रिपीट करें। लेट्स सी इफ द वेव्स आर चेंजिंग। तो जहाँ पर मैं कर्सर घुमा रहा हूँ वहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं बट थोड़े अमाउंट में अल्फ़ा अवेलेबल हो रहा है। अल्फ़ा क्यों आ रहा है? क्योंकि अभी अभी he is away from the outer environment, he is doing something internally। So when you're doing something internally, so during internal calculations, again alpha will appear like this, जैसे आप देख रहे हैं ना। तो इस तरह से मल्टीपल मेंटल स्टेट्स में इवन व्हेन जब हम मेडिटेट करते हैं, जब हम योग लगाते हैं, उस स्टेट में हमारा ब्रेन अलग अलग, ब्रेन के अलग अलग लोकेशंस पे अलग अलग रीजन्स हैं, वो एक दूसरे से कनेक्ट करते हैं। एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट कनेक्शन we try to understand that how different brain regions while connecting to each other are performing a task। एक टास्क को करने में बहुत सारा अलग अलग ब्रेन रीजन्स जो हैं उसको देखते हैं। अभी एक तीसरे टास्क को थोड़ा सा देखने की कोशिश करते हैं, ठीक है भाई। अभी आप कैलकुलेशन करना छोड़ दें, बिल्कुल रिलैक्स हो जाएं, ठीक है। अभी अपने आसपास के एनवायरनमेंट को महसूस करें। आसपास आप क्या देख पा रहे हैं, कुछ सुन पा रहे हैं, जो भी सारा चीज़ हो रहा है आसपास में उसको थोड़ा सा महसूस करें। और ये महसूस करते हुए अपनी आंखें दाएं से बाएं तरफ मूव करें। राइट से लेफ्ट में अपनी आंखें मूव करें, अपनी आंखें खोल लीजिए, हाँ, राइट से लेफ्ट में मूव करें, उधर देखना है फिर इधर देखना है, हाँ। तो जब भाई अपनी लेफ्ट आई, राइट आई लेफ्ट आई दोनों मूव करते हैं तो उसके इंडिकेशंस भी हमारे पास इस सिग्नल में, ईओजी के सिग्नल में हमको पता लगते हैं। एक बार दोबारा से लेफ्ट में देखें, फिर राइट में देखें, हाँ। तो जैसे देख रहे हैं अब ये जो शार्प पीक आ रहा है, ये शार्प पीक हमको दिखाता है दैट हाउ ड्यूरिंग आई मूवमेंट चेंजेस आर हैपनिंग। EEG is a complex data. It is not very simple to demonstrate everything on during practical demonstration. But what we try to do when we record the data, after that multiple type of processing is needed. Okay, so let's try to understand what is the different type of processing. Bhai, can we have the PPT on? So different bandwidths, which I have told that delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, which has this range. रेंज का मतलब इतने सारे पीक्स जो हैं ड्यूरिंग 1 सेकेंड जनरेट होते हैं, उसके अकॉर्डिंग दिस रेंज आर डिफाइंड। तो जब हम जिस समय पे डॉक्टर राम जी अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे थे, उस समय पे हम लोग ये स्कैल्प प्रिपरेशन का जो प्रोसेस है वो हम स्टेज के पीछे कर रहे थे। स्कैल्प प्रिपरेशन में क्या करते हैं हम कि ये कैप पहनाने के बाद, जो भाई को आप देख रहे हैं, ये कैप पूरा पहनाने के बाद उसमें हम इंजेक्शन की हेल्प से जेल फिल करते हैं। वो इंजेक्शन किसी भी तरह से कोई हानि, कोई हार्म नहीं पहुंचाता, इट्स जस्ट added as a medium to provide gel and local connections are formed. Local connections form होना क्यों ज़रूरी है? Because when the local connections are formed, the current which is generated from the brain is directly received from that local connection, right? और जो सबसे राइट में आप देख पा रहे हैं दैट डायग्राम, जिसके अंदर बहुत सारे ग्रीन पॉइंट्स हैं, ऑल द ग्रीन पॉइंट्स विच यू आर एबल टू सी, that will tell us the impedance. What is impedance? That's basically the how good your connection of the electrode to the brain is, right? This is the electrode placement system. ये जो कैप में आप अलग अलग electrodes देख पा रहे हैं, all the signs. So all these electrodes are located, how they are located, how they are put in this cap is based on this electrode placement system. So we call it 10-20 placement system, और 10-20 का मतलब the whole brain is divided into 10 parts, or I would say 100 parts, and 10 parts, then 10 parts, then 20 parts. This is how we define the 10-20 placement system. और जैसे जैसे ये placement आगे बढ़ता जाता है, उसके जो junctions हैं, उन junctions पे हम electrode fit करते हैं इस तरह से। तो अब एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन आता है कि न्यूरो साइंस में हम मेडिटेशन और क्लिनिकल डिसऑर्डर्स बहुत सारे उनको देखने की कोशिश करते हैं। वाई वी आर स्टिल यूजिंग EEG? EEG इज़ अ वेरी ओल्ड टेक्निक। अगर फर्स्ट वाला आप डायग्राम देख पाएँ, सो EEG वेरी ओल्ड, and Hensberger has given the very first, he has recorded the very first EEG graph. It's very old technique. 1924 में के आसपास में this EEG was the very first EEG was recorded. Now we have MRI, now we have PET scan, now we have all different kind of scans. But why we are still using EEG? Because EEG is very cost effective. बहुत कम cost इसमें लगता है, और उस कम cost से भी ज़्यादा important है that we can get to know the information which is running in brain at a fraction of second. Even at the fraction of milliseconds we can get to know about the information what is running in the brain, right? दूसरा एक और अगर आप ये कंपैरिजन देख पाएंगे तो दैट कंपैरिजन इज गिवन फॉर ऑल द ब्रेन इमेजिंग मोडालिटीज़। डिफरेंट ब्रेन इमेजिंग के मेथड्स जो हैं उनका कॉस्ट कितना है, और उनके कॉस्ट के बेसिस पे उनका टेम्पोरल और स्पेशल रेजोल्यूशन क्या है। टेम्पोरल रेजोल्यूशन माने कि फॉर हाउ गुड I am able to record the fraction of seconds data, fraction of milliseconds data. Spatial resolution means how good am I able to record the location of the brain from which the data is actually received. तो brain के अंदर बहुत सारे regions हैं, there are a lot of regions inside the brain, and all these regions coming together are responsible for different kind of functions. So while we record this data, we have to we are also unwantedly recording some artifacts. Artifacts kya hai? These are some of the background noise which we are recording in between. So some of them are like ECG artifacts. So ECG का एक waveform रहता है. ECG is also recorded with EEG. Even if we are not recording ECG, it also gets recorded. Also few eye movements are there. So as I told you that what data we are recording is in micro volts range, but muscles also have a data which is in millivolts range, and this data is in volts. So volts, then millivolts, and then microvolt. So microvolt data is very precious, very sophisticated data. Usko record karne ke liye, while we are recording that data, we also end up recording all these artifacts, including the muscle artifacts and eye movement. So these are some of the glimpses when subjects are sitting and then doing the eye movements. After we record the data, how do we actually get to know what is happening in the brain? कैसे हम infer करते हैं? So there are multiple type of analysis which we do. One kind of analysis is this EEG band power changes. So we in engineering we basically do what? We take this data, and this data is in time series. We record this data as a time series, like a video, right? You also record, every one of you record videos from your phone, so that has a duration. Similarly, we also record this data of a duration, and then after recording that data for a certain duration, then we also change it into the frequency domain, where we are able to actually measure how different frequencies power is there. So this is one kind of analysis where we do power changes, right? This is the heat map which you can see on the right side. Heat map will actually tell that what is the amount of power of any specific frequency. Let's say alpha is high. हम बोलते हैं ना कि किसी में alpha is high, beta is high, gamma is high, or gamma is low. So how do we define? That's how we define on the basis of these heat maps. Other kind of analysis what we do is the source localization. So source localization is what? To finding the exact place from where any brain activity is emerging. Electrical activity जो brain में हो रही है while we are meditating or while we are rest or any kind of situation, what is the place of generation of this activity, right? So उसके लिए हम brain का atlas फॉर्म करते हैं और इस DEG डेटा को मैथमेटिकल टूल्स की हेल्प से वी पुट दैट डेटा ऑन टू दिस इनवर्स mechanism, and that's how we end up coming with the source localization of EEG data. The third thing which we do is the connectivity analysis. So connectivity analysis is that how different brain areas are connected to each other, and when these brain areas are connected to each other, where the information is flowing, right? मान लीजिए, like in an organization, if any information has to be provided, there is a certain mechanism that there is a hierarchical mechanism or there is a parallel mechanism how any information has been given. Let's say I can see a lot of students who are sitting here. So all of you are getting information about examinations, right? While you are sitting, while you are giving your while you are in the classes. So how does that information is being given? Somebody from the examination department will send you email, and then you will receive it. Even before that, 2 more people will receive that information who have to prepare your exam papers, right? So this is how different areas are connected in brain, which provide information from one area to another area to actually act on that information. What is that information? अब इस information को क्या करना है? मान लीजिए simply that आप रात में जा रहे हैं, suddenly you see a snake crawling on the road. So what will happen? You will pull yourself, and while you're pulling yourself, your eyes are giving the signal of that some snake is there. It is a threat. Also in that moment, what you will do, if you have space to run away, you will run away. Otherwise, if the snake will come and trying to chase you, you'll try to fight with the snake, right? So fight or flight, any response you will do. So fight or flight also is governed by a few areas of the brain which are connected to each other. So it's not just one area which is responsible for any time. How do we say that right brain or left brain. So right brain and left brain are all together connected. Similarly, different areas also in the brain, in the right as well as in the left, are connected to each other. So that's it about the EEG demonstration. We can still see that how the same brainwave we can obtain even after this moment. So let's try. Brother, can you close your eyes again? So you see, all over the posterior part of the brain, you can see large number of alpha waves. As soon as I will ask him to open his eyes, this alpha will disappear. Brother, can you open your eyes? You see, it just disappears. So this is the very brief introduction about EEG and how do we record data of meditators and try to understand when person are doing meditation, practicing meditation for longer number of years, how their brain is changing. And the brain is changing massively. Dr. Ramjam has covered a lot of part of research in his talk. I'll not take more time. ब्रदर सुबह डॉक्टर सुशील चंद्रा के प्रेजेंटेशन को एक बार आप ऑन करेंगे सुबह 11:30 वाला प्रेजेंटेशन हाँ स्क्रीन So when this data was recorded, so you can see Shrikant Bhai is sitting on the left side of this picture, and then the other side, there's another scientist who is sitting there. So when Shrikant Bhai was asked to, meditate at that moment, one very interesting thing happens with the brain, especially of meditators, that meditators, especially in Raj Yoga meditation, people are sitting while their eyes are open. Now try to understand. I showed you on the screen that while alpha is changing, when you are closing your eyes, only then the alpha is appearing. One very important finding which we have found in meditators, Raj Yoga meditators, that lower frequencies including alpha and delta are prominently visible when they are having their eyes open only. So how they are able to internalize even without going into a task, that is very it's very rare finding in meditators. So what happened in the brain when this EEG was recorded of Shrikant Bhai, so more amount of delta was present while he was meditating, and when we are moving towards lower frequency, delta is one of the lower frequency, where do we receive delta? Think about alpha is an indicator of relaxation. When you are relaxed, when you are internalizing something, then alpha is appearing. But when do the delta appears? So delta appears when you are in deep sleep. So think about the kind of relaxation you are having during deep sleep, which meditation can do even when your eyes are open. So that is the power of meditation. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. थैंक यू हमारे संजीव भाई के लिए, और थैंक यू फॉर शक्तिजा हु हेल्प्ड इन रिकॉर्डिंग इट. शक्तिजा IIT मंडी से हैं एंड शी इज़ डूइंग PhD.
बहुत अच्छा, very nice and detailed demo of how thoughts affect our brain waves EEG test. So thanks to Dr. Kanishk Sharma ji, also Dr. Ram Jayam ji. Now it's time to listen to the feedback. I request Sister Kusum Big ji from Pune, please give us today's feedback of the whole day seminar. Sister Kusumji is renowned TEDx speaker, founder and CEO of Mind Matrix Wellness Studio and distinguished counseling psychologist. Request Sister Kusumji to come on to the dais. Also, I request Dr. Satya Sai Kumarji. Please come on to the dais to share your feedback of today's seminar. Mrs. Kusumji first.
Om Shanti. A very good evening to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartful gratitude to SpARC, Raj Yoga Education and Research Foundation, and Brahma Kumaris Hyderabad for organizing such an intriguing, insightful seminar on this topic, which is the need of the hour, integration of science and spirituality, the source of infinite possibilities. In fact, I must admit that the moment I step into the campus of Brahma Kumaris, whenever I do that, there is a vibrational shift that begins to happen. So thank you for creating such an amazing, wonderful vibration that we have created it here. That's the first thing. Secondly, every session and every expert that we've listened to, they've been so enlightening, right from when we had the dignitaries sharing their thoughts sitting on the dais, the meditation that we were guided on the internal journey. It was extremely blissful. And the inspiration that we derived from the dignitaries in the morning was again very encouraging for all of us. I would also like to talk about some of the highlights that our experts, scientists have brought out in today's seminar. Particularly, on my personal interest, which is on AI at the moment, artificial intelligence, which I find it very intriguing, that there are no two ways that, okay, AI is not something, because I remember somebody did speak about that we must use only a natural intelligence, and artificial intelligence will have a lot of cons that we are waiting for to happen. But today's session from Dr. Sushil Chandra, thank you, sir, for bringing out AI, HI, human intelligence, and the way you presented it in your own expertise of the directional and the regulation approach was fantastic. And then, of course, the combination of AI, HI, and spiritual intelligence, because in my understanding, I believed in this integration, and that's the whole idea. Then, of course, we had our Bhaiji coming in from, who spoke about the mind, body, spirit integration and the beautiful work that was guided. And he also spoke how we need to work not only, or it's, when we speak about, it's sanskar we speak about in Brahma Kumaris, we speak about buddhi, we speak about intellect, of course that's the buddhi, but that's where I got all my answers after working for 3 decades plus and practicing a lot of modalities, from teaching psychology to doing behavioral trainings to coaching, and now, of course, stepping into the spiritual aspect. I found my answers when I joined Brahma Kumaris Raj Yoga meditation. I loved the demonstrations that we witnessed today. It was a very, very beautiful demonstration, and I remember we've been talking about gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta, but not everybody gets an opportunity to see how the brain waves function with every thought, with eyes open and eyes closed. It was a wonderful demonstration. I think every session, right from yoga experts, the spinal cord and the breathing, I may be missing some of the things, but everything, I think we are all enlightened, educative, insightful, and it was a compelling seminar. But personally, one thing that I think I would like to share, now I have that opportunity, when we speak about the infinite possibility, when we say infinite, it is the Akasha element. We've spoken about the physical self and the spiritual self, the seen and the unseen. And we all spoke about, often talk about 5 elements. And in these 5 elements, one of the elements is Akasha. And unless until we integrate the Akasha element, which is the spirituality, the circle, will remain incomplete. So thank you so much, everyone, the organizers, and thanks for, we are fortunate that we got this opportunity to be part of this seminar. A big thank you to each one of you, and one word, everything that we are doing here today brings in balance within us. And I personally call it a triangle, the trinity that I've shared my book with some of you, because only we human, in a triangle, it's a balance. Only we human can integrate the material self or the physical self and the spiritual self. And that's what the triangle is all about. A big thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Sister Kusumji. Very nice feedback. And we have amongst us Dr. Satya Sai Kumarji, international expert in sustainable development. Career is marked by various leadership roles, including CEO, Vice Chancellor, Entrepreneur, UN Policy and Planning expert. Request Dr. Satya Sai Kumarji to share feedback.
Om Shanti. Sabhaya Namaha. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. It's really pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here. It is really, I'm truly blessed for this wonderful event. And the title itself, if you see, Integration of Science and Spirituality, that itself talks about the very, very topical and very an urgent issue. That's what we have to bring in the current disruptive world. We are saying how the Europe or how the Middle East or what is happening in the Central Asia, all these things are actually pulling back to us, saying that where is that human touch? Where is that spirituality knowledge? Because science alone cannot work by itself to do the miracles. If that is the case, even an atom bomb would never would have been given a priority if the spirituality angle is there as part of that. And as today is really a great event, a very thoughtful event, I congratulate the organizers for this topic particularly, integration of science and spirituality with in source of infinite possibilities. I also would like to say it is not just only from the sake of, we need not have to defend that with the infinite possibilities. It is an inevitable integration. In today's context, okay, it is an inevitable integration to stay and sustain. Because this kind of living what we have in the planet, the kind of damage we created with the climate related issues, all these things are actually again rooted through the spiritual sciences which we missed long back. As one of the speaker has clearly said, spirituality and the science, though it perception wise it looks two different things, but they are like two wheels of the same vehicle or two sides of the same coin. But at the same time, I would like to go a step ahead. I beg apologies from the scientists here. Science itself, if you see with a broad-minded way of looking at, it is a subset of spirituality. Spiritual sciences, that is how we can look at. But the moment we brought in the rituality into the spirituality, that is where we we lost the command of saying that it is the spiritual sciences. And SpARC is doing a wonderful job. And today I got enlightened by doing the wonderful research work what you are doing, the kind of projects you have, actionable projects that what you have presented here. This itself shows that you have a platform. You have a platform to make an impact on this. As Sanjay Bhai and Srikanth has clearly said, both Brahmakumari, Sanjay Bhai and Srikanth, artificial intelligence is coming here. Is it going to damage the human? Suppose there is an essay competition in the schools, we used to do it. But today if I call ChatGPT, I want an essay on science and spirituality. Within fraction of seconds I'll get that essay. So what is that we are actually encouraging for the next generation? Not to think, not to act. So this is very dangerous situation. So this is where we have to brought in the spirituality angle. They have actually very beautifully explained that. And for this particularly SpARC can play a big role in this. Because you have a global platform. This is where you can bring in a lot of policy decisions into this. And even someone has said mobile usage, you know. Some of the countries in the Europe already started banning the mobile usage for below 10 years kids. So then why India has to wait till its position has to come or the pressure has to come here? We can initiate that, but they need a proper direction. We can do a research how others are doing, what is better for us, and India always have its own unique knowledge. So this is where we can change things. And I was also quite happy about the Pramanic Yoga. That is really, even he said knees can see the things. Even I heard only about Lord Indra who has Sahasraksha, 1,000 eyes. But he is today, first time I saw that knee also can see. That's what he has said. But this is something, if it is really, we can see a Pramanic, because science always asks for the evidence, whereas spirituality goes by faith. That's why someone has said, when science ends, the spirituality begins. Even when many of you, when you do your research also, you always have an hypothesis. This hypothesis given by the spirituality. That is where we have to continue our quest into this. So this Pramanic yoga, if really we can actually do, the SpARC can do little step, more steps ahead to see the research into that. And with that you can really come out across every village, every place in the country should have this Pramanic yoga. If it is really such successful, because it's very cost effective and it is actually make you a complete treatment. Because it's not for a symptomatic treatment, it is actually you are giving the whole body a treatment. The profile of the human being is very complete. And I also appreciate Dr. Sushil Chandra. He talks about artificial intelligence, human intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. When you look at artificial intelligence, who created it? It is a subset of human intelligence. We, the humans, created that artificial intelligence. But we may lose the control. That is where we are losing, but not from the person who created that, but from the next generations. So this is where, when human intelligence, how it has come? Again, it is from the spiritual intelligence. Who is controlling this soul? Okay, the Supreme. When you look at that way, the spiritual intelligence will actually is the way we have to bring in this artificial intelligence and human intelligence together. So there also, it gives a very strong justification for you to take it to the policy level to say that why spiritual intelligence or spiritual sciences are very important in going forward to sustain. With these few words, I again would like to congratulate for the organizers for organizing this great event. I am sure for all the audience and as well as the students who has come here. And students can take a lot of research here. They can actually do a lot of case studies here. They can do take their thesis topics from here with the SpARC. They can make use of it. The integration and collaboration between universities and the SpARC will really bring lot of impact, because we can only have number of seminars like this, but where we are creating the impact, this only create an awareness. But when we really go into the action, that kind of collaboration if we can bring in using your global platform with a policy and as well as an action plan, that changes the many of our, maybe India really can become that Vishwaguru status, which the current, because today you have a political will, You have a strong administrative bureaucratic support, which is very rare, but India it is today, it is happening, as well as it's a developing country, and at the same time fast progressing country. So, and we are going to be the third richest country. So this is where all this suits to the right platform, using your current agenda of the conference proceedings of this one itself. You can intimate and send a message to the government that spiritual sciences is something should be introduced right from the school level, and you can give a curriculum, you can give a platform to that. This is how it can go forward. Thank you very much. I am truly blessed to be here. Thank you.
Sai Kumarji. Now I request Sister Shakti from Shamshabad branch of Brahma Kumaris. She's into Brahma Kumaris, leading a surrendered life since 28 years and serving spiritually, staying at Shamshabad branch of Brahma Kumaris. Sister will come and give vote of thanks for today's successful seminar. Shakti sister.
ओम शांति। आज के इस कार्यक्रम को संपन्न बनाने के पीछे ब्रह्मा कुमारीज की ये जो 18 विंग्स है, उसमें आज के इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन स्पार्क विंग के माध्यम से स्पार्क सेमिनार आयोजन किया गया है। इसका रूपकर्ता विंग्स का जो परमपिता परमात्मा है, हम 1 मिनट साइलेंस में परमात्मा को कृतज्ञता या शुक्रगुजार करेंगे 1 मिनट साइलेंस में बैठ करके। विशेष जैसे मेडिटेशन का शब्द सुना, हम सब रेड लाइट में पहुँचे, वो किस लिए है, वो सारा आप इसके पीछे का विज्ञान समझने आगे ब्रह्मा कुमारी में जो एक्टिविटीज़ होते इस कैंपस में आगे आते रहेंगे तो आपके इसके गहरी समझ भी मिलेगा और फ़ायदा भी मिलेगा। और विशेष आज हम सब इस कैंपस में सुचारू रूप से इस कार्यक्रम का आनंद लिया, जिसका श्रेय जाता है इसका परमात्मा के साथ साथ स्थूल रूप में रूपकर्ता के रूप में इस ईश्वरीय विश्वविद्यालय में तेलंगाना स्टेट के सब जोन इंचार्ज के रूप में और शांति सरोवर के डायरेक्टर के रूप में सेवाएं देने वाले परम आदरणीय परम श्रद्धेय कुलदीप दीदी जी का आप सब दीदी का दर्शन भी करें। दीदी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और दीदी का राइट हैंड बन करके इस स्पार्क विंग हैदराबाद या तेलंगाना रीजन का कोऑर्डिनेटर जो सुमलता बेन है, आप खुद ही जैसे कि इस रिसर्च में शामिल हम कह सकते। सुमलता बेन को मैं लगभग 30 साल से जानती हूँ। जब डॉक्टरों ने उनको कह दिया कि आप कुछ जैसे जैसे बड़े होंगे ना, हज़ारों में एक को जो प्रॉब्लम होता है बोन में, उनको ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है जो डॉक्टर ने कहा जैसे आप बड़े होते जाएंगे ना बेड पे लगे रहेंगे, मतलब आपका पेरेंट्स से आपको पूरा संभालना पड़ता है। लेकिन आज देख रहे सवेरे से आपके साथ खड़े, आप तो बैठे हो लेकिन सुमलता बहन खड़े हैं। और ये प्रोग्राम का सुचारू रूप से संचालन करते हुए लगभग 1 महीने से सभी को इंटीग्रेट करते हुए सब डिपार्टमेंट्स को और हेडक्वार्टर को, विंग मेंबर्स को, तो आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज की इस प्रोग्राम की सफलता के लिए सुमलता बहन को। और साथ साथ श्रीकांत भाई जी, जैसे हमारे हेड ऑफिस में पता चला कि सेक्रेटरी जनरल जो हमारे अति प्रिय निर्वैर भाई जी का देहांत हुआ, तो अंबिका दीदी जी, सूरज भाई जी, कुछ और मेहमान आने वाले थे, वो नहीं आ पाए, पर अपना जो नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर श्रीकांत भाई जी और संजय भाई जी, आप कोई भी प्रकार का इमोशनल या प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स आए तो भी वो पार करके आप यहाँ अपने बीच में उपस्थित हैं। तो श्रीकांत भाई जी का और संजय भाई जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप स्पार्क विंग के नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर और हेडक्वार्टर कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं। और साथ साथ आज हमारे इस कार्यक्रम को संपन्न रूप में पूर्ण करने में सवेरे इनाग्रल सेशन में हमारे बीच जो उपस्थित थे कि सत्यनारायण गारू, जनरल सेक्रेटरी तेलंगाना अकेडमी ऑफ साइंस, वो फार्मर वीसी के रूप में भी अपने सेवाएं दिए। और ब्रदर श्रीनिवास राव गारू डिप्यूटी डायरेक्टर, उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और जी शंकर जी एजीएम बायोलॉजिकल ई के थे, वे भी पहुँचे थे अपने बीच में। और सुशील भाई जी, आप अभी भी हमारे बीच में हैं, मैं समझती हूँ। आप भी बहुत दूर से हमारे बीच में पहुँचे। सुशील चंद्र भाई जी का भी बहुत बहुत, आप सब ने उनका सेशन आनंद किया ना। DRDO से अपने बीच में पहुँचे। डीन एंड प्रोफेसर स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन ऋषिहुड यूनिवर्सिटी हरियाणा से आप हमारे बीच में पहुँचे। और इसके साथ साथ लाइटिंग ऑफ लैम्प में बहुत सारे मेहमान उपस्थित थे, उन सबका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और साथ साथ यहाँ जो सभा में बहुत सारे स्कूल्स, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस के PhD स्कॉलर्स बैठे थे, वो बच्चों का। और साथ साथ इसमें आज जो बैठे थे, इसरो बायोलॉजिकल नागार्जुना फर्टिलाइजर्स और हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिकल लिमिटेड, इक्रिसैट और मिधानी एंड मेनी R&D इंस्टीट्यूशंस शामिल हुए थे, उन सब का भी एक एक को बहुत तहे दिल से धन्यवाद। और साथ साथ कॉलेजेस जो पहुँचे थे, बद्रुका कॉलेज, BVRIT कॉलेज, उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी, MGIT, श्रीदेवी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज एंड दूसरे मेनी साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के डेलीगेट्स अपने बीच में उपस्थित थे। आप सबका भी आज के इस कार्यक्रम में शामिल होने का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और आगे जो रजिस्टर नहीं किया है, QR कोड रिसेप्शन में उपलब्ध है, वहाँ पर आप अपना नाम रजिस्टर करेंगे तो आगे की जो भी कार्यक्रम की रूपरेखा है वो आपको मिलता रहेगा। अभी हम 1 मिनट साइलेंस के साथ आज के इस कार्यक्रम को संपन्न करेंगे। जो न्यू बिगिनिंग है, जो हमने समझा है, अपना स्पाइन की साइंस है, ब्रेन की साइंस है, माइंड की साइंस है, तो हम इसको सिंपल रूप में अप्लाई करते हुए अपने जीवन को सुख शांति में बनाएंगे। ओम शांति। 1 मिनट साइलेंस के साथ आप अपना न्यू बिगिनिंग के लिए प्रस्थान कर सकते हैं।